J'arrivais du Maghreb, où les luttes de libération...
I came from the Maghreb, where national liberation struggles brought colonialism to an end. I do not identify with colonialism. I identify with the liberation struggle, carried out in the name of principles I share with Algerians, Moroccans, and Tunisians, people back home. That is our shared history. Choose your side, not only in the present, but also in the past. In the past, we were not enemies, and we never have been. It is the powerful, fighting among themselves, who pushed ordinary people into battle. Look closely. No, nuclear power is not an independent way of producing energy, because we do not have uranium. We are forced to obtain it from abroad. Secondly, even if nuclear power does not pose an immediate danger, because it is well managed and maintained, allow me to say this. It is remarkable to hear people claim, in the same breath, that they are preparing for war and that they are ready to deploy nuclear power everywhere, because nuclear sites are targets. That makes the defense of this country more difficult than in others. Until now, we have said that military nuclear power protects us, and that is true, but a decision has to be made. We said nuclear deterrence exists because France will never accept a war in Europe. Yet there's a war in Europe, in Ukraine, because Russia has invaded its neighbor. So what now? Yes, some madmen are saying we must fire long-range weapons at the Russians. Are you crazy? Are we really going to let people like that have responsibility? Do you want a Jadot or a Glucksmann to lead you into wars that will be definitive, wars that would end the moment they began? It only takes France to be struck once, and there is no more France. That is the truth. We have nothing to gain from war. Nothing, absolutely nothing. And we do not have to play tough. I need to wrap up, but I must talk about something else. And it is not funny. It has nothing to do with you. It is the Epstein affair. You have to say Epstein. I used to say Frankenstein. It's horrible. It scares me. His name is Epstein. He's dead, but still, it is incredible, unheard of, nauseating. I am someone who cannot even listen to a story like that. Afterwards, I cannot sleep. This is exceptionally serious. First, because of the scale of the crimes. Ladies and gentlemen, this man spent half the year, for 16 years, in Paris, on Avenue Foch. And as the journalist Christophe Barbier said the other night, there is no reason to believe that someone committing crimes all year round in the United States would stop when he arrived in France, that he would suddenly become chaste. That is not true. And I am astonished that, while we are told there are 3 million files, I will not go and read them. When we discussed it among ourselves, we said we would not be among those who pounce on the first rumor to attack someone and cover them in disgrace. We will not do that. But there is one thing we will do. We demand that justice gets involved. We want the criminals punished, all of them, without exception, no matter how important they are, no matter their place in society. Because if we accept living in a society where some people are absolved of their crimes simply because they are too important for us to go after them, then it is no longer society. When we were at Cascret, we started talking about the Epstein affair. He and I, like many of you, have enough intuition to say, this story is so serious that it will cause deep disasters, even, and perhaps especially, among those who remain silent, who watch, and who say, what kind of world is this? What kind of people are these? It will undermine what remains of trust in this country from within. And that is very dangerous for all of us, because it can fuel waves of racism and waves of crazy, irresponsible behavior. It is very dangerous. It is just as impossible for those who hold sovereignty for political authority to run around drunk or naked in the streets, to behave like clowns, to openly violate or disregard the laws they themselves established. That is what is at stake in the Epstein case. To preserve their authority, it is impossible to be and not be at the same time. You cannot be both a thug, a criminal, and at the same time, someone who gives order to others and makes laws.